Thoughtcast? Of One Mind. Okay. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, and I'm glad that glad Of One Mind fit into the same deck that Thoughtcast. It fits into the same deck as Thoughtcast. Great. Perfect. Hello everyone, welcome back from Top of the Wall. My name is Mason Up. The deck today has been requested multiple times. I'm sure somebody out there has been waiting very patiently for this. We are doing some Dauthi. Dauthi? Dauthi. Let's pretend that it's that. Dauthi Tribal, essentially. It is a jank tribal deck. There aren't a lot of payoffs for being in it other than having unblockable creatures. That's a pretty good payoff for being in this tribe. Now, I want to start real quick with the first four of our tribal cards. If it will go into the side part, we have 4 Changeling Outcast, which is an honorary one because it's as though the creature has shadow. Shadow creatures, if you're not familiar with shadow creatures, they can only be blocked by creatures with shadow, and that's pretty much it. That's the whole deal with shadow. It's kind of like flying, but just as a different kind of thing. And Changing Outcast can't block, and it can't be blocked. Just like the rest of our shadow creatures here, we have a Slayer, which is just a 2/2 that has to attack every turn. A Horror, which is 2/1, and a Marauder, which is a 3/1 for 3 mana. Keep in mind, small back end, but it's not getting blocked. They actually have to spot remove it with something that would likely kill it even if it had a little bit more toughness. The Mercenary is another 2/1, but we can use it as a mana sink to pump it up with a kind of fire breathing later in the game. We do have a few other creatures in the deck that do kind of synergize with what we're doing and kind of support our strategy. Gruuljaw's Vampire. It does get a nice bump when our opponent is lower in life total, which is actually rather fast since all of our creatures are very aggressive and deal quite a bit of damage. Gluttonous Slug, which is a menace card with Evolve. Keeping in mind, a lot of our creatures have more toughness than 0, so this thing can easily get to a nice 2/5 or a nice 3/6 with menace. Start getting in. The Unearths are essentially just cards that act as additional copies of any of our creatures that get removed or die. We have some Bone Splitters here, which pump up our creatures. Keep in mind, all unblockable. This is just 2 mana. Put another 2 power on the board that's reusable. We have some card advantage and some ways to get a little bit more use of our creatures here. 4 Sign in Blood for some card advantage. And then the last one is the Gang Shinobi. What is that? Okiba Gang Shinobi, the Rat Ninjas. The Rat Ninjas bounce back one of our creatures. We don't get a lot of use out of the ETBs, but we do get to make our opponent a little bit disadvantaged with a Mind Rot, essentially. We have some removal here just to keep our opponent off in case they're also an aggressive deck. With 3 Geth's Verdict for Boggles and for various creatures like Kuldaltha Boros, for instance, or any kind of flicker shenanigan. We have 1 Disfigure and 4 Defile for the early game and better for the late game. Then our mana base, real simple, 17 Swamps with our beautiful art here. As always, more sets come out, but these keep looking prettier and prettier as the days go by. Bajuka Bog for Graveyard Hate, Witch's Cottage as another payoff for having a bunch of swamps, giving us the ability to redraw one of our creatures. Barrenmoor, so we don't flood out as easily. Now, for the sideboard, things that we're afraid of a lot of stuff. We're afraid of a lot of shenanigans, particularly Elves and some aggro decks and some of the mid-range decks might be able to keep up with us and might be able to legitimately race us. So if we actually are planning out this well, we can sideboard in a couple of Crypt Rats, and if we play it out right, we can let them invest into the board. Then we play Crypt Rats, pop the Crypt Rats, blow up the world, keep swinging in at our opponent, or just start playing out our creatures then, making this more one-sided. Then we have 2 Relic of Progenitus for some Graveyard Hate against Tron in particular. We also have Distress and Duress in this. These hand hate cards are actually pretty good against control decks and against any particular combo. Picking apart some of the higher end cards in our opponent's hand are particularly valuable. Liliana's Spectre is also really good against do-nothing decks like Tron. It takes them down one card after we might have started already ripping apart some of our opponent's hand a little bit earlier, and then it's still able to get in some damage in the air. The Chainer's Edicts are awesome against Boggles. The Erupting Decay... Did I say Erupting Decay? To be fair, things are erupting out of these people. The Echoing Decay is good against elves and against tokens. In the last video, I definitely got bullied by Boros. So yeah, I gotta keep in one of these Echoing Decays. That seems like a pretty good idea, and we could sideboard in that with the Crypt Rats if we need. A lot of these cards are versatile, and you can choose different ways to use them. Now, before I get into gameplay, I want to apologize about the mic audio. I don't entirely know how to fix it. I looked up what parasitic audio meant. Trying to figure out exactly how to change that. I'm thinking I might need a new mic. That might be a second with the whole quarantine thing. Turns out shipping rates are a little bit slower, unfortunately. So, might be a minute. Hopefully you guys can be patient with me while I work that out. Otherwise, it might be the webcam mic. A little bit worse. With that being said, let's get into gameplay. Alright, and we have our first opponent, Biggie J-Man. Well, hello, Biggie J-Man. And yeah, is that a prompt to say go first? Yeah, of course. Yes. Hi. I don't know why I typed yes to them. But I think this is it's not such a great hand. Well, we can cycle the Baron more. You know, it's not a super great hand, but essentially we only have 3 lands. You know, I'll keep. We can cycle the Baron more, so we do get a redraw. And, you know, we do have our one of Bojuka Bog, so there's a potential for this to be not half bad. Plus, Unearth. If hopefully we draw into, like, a Slayer or a Mercenary or something, which would be awesome. And is that... Who is that? Is that... I know who that is. Chromatic Sphere. Okay, this is Affinity. Sure. Well, you're not going to be blocking today. No blocks. No blocks. God, well, I'm going to get in for some combat. I'm attacking here. Let's see. Well, Bojuka Bog next turn. Yeah, I should have probably played Bojuka Bog this turn. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play the Vampire, and I'll cycle on my opponent's turn. I might Defile a Frogmite. I might not. I don't believe that anytime soon I'm going to see a couple more swamps. Oh, hey. Disciple of the Vault, you say? Couldn't help but notice. I might Defile that. I think I might Defile that creature. And it keeps them from having another mana this turn. Yeah, let's do that. I know that's not a big deal, but it does slow them down a little bit. So hopefully we can keep getting in a little bit more damage. Oh, Bone Splitter. Yes. I'm definitely going to Bone Splitter onto let's see, the unblockable one. We'll get in for some damage. I know this is probably not going to win, but God, do I want it to. Come on, don't say anything about this. You have nothing to say. Just let it happen. Bojuka Bog. We'll exile your graveyard. And you know, thinking about it, the Defile did a little bit more work than just starve them 1 mana, 1 turn. It was also a couple of damage. Because we're not blocking, it does mean a couple of pokes with this thing, so it's more like 3 damage. And they're probably going to use it multiple times for mana, so it's more like a couple mana. Oh yeah, plus when they crack the Chromatic Star or sack the Wellspring, that would have been a couple of damage. So, you know, it's a little. Oh, is that a Mirror Enforcer? God, look at this chubby guy. This chubby blue man. Oh, is this that Affinity? The newer version of Affinity that plays non-artifact creatures and metal, that one Metalcraft creature, Sunchaser? Thoughtcast? Of One Mind, okay. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, and I'm glad that glad Of One Mind fit into the same deck that Thoughtcast. It fits into the same deck as Thoughtcast. Great. Perfect. I think I'll get in for some damage. Super glad that they're super low right now. This does mean that I do get the chance to make this thing. Oh god, I make this thing a 3/2 with Intimidate. And I do get Unearthed to reuse this guy. So, oh man, we're gonna hit him for 4 next time. If I draw Geth's Verdict with this redraw from Baron Moore, that would be sweet. Okay, Prophetic Prism. Oh, come on, race Affinity down. Race him to 0. You ain't gonna fling Atog today. No, sir. You ain't doing nothing. I'm not certain about these clue tokens, though. They do add to the artifact count, and they do count as a redraw. But I don't think Affinity has that much mana to just, like, throw around. Don't they only play, like, 17 lands? I mean, sure. The Springleaf Drum count as something. Cycle. Give me the goods. No. All right. Well, fine. Bone Splitter Axe. Sure. There's a Unearth. That's not what I wanted. Well, they don't have. They have 1 mana. I have a feeling like they might have something. So I think I might want to just go to attacks. You know, I think I'm still going to equip this. To, let's say, this guy. Okay, they do not Galvanic Blast it. I mean, they can still do it, they can still do it in a second. Before damage. No? Alright. No Galvanic Blast. Okay, they don't have Galvanic Blast. And they're dead next turn. Turn 6 kill on Affinity. Ooh. Should have played those shadow creatures. But they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 redraws. Okay, that's quite a bit. Oh, no need for that. Doesn't have haste. Okay. Don't draw into Fling, please. Fling? Question mark? That's what they're hoping for. Oh, that's a good draw. Ornithopter. Sure. Well, I mean, this can still be blocked by artifact creatures, so they just have to really find the Galvanic Blast for this thing. Yeah, I suppose. Okay, Ichor Wellspring. Oh come on, don't do this. Don't find Galvanic Blast. All right, well, they're still going for it. They do have 3 mana still available. 3 of it can be red. Mirror Enforcer, that's pretty good. Well, they could block this guy. I think I'm still going to have to leave this guy back to block Atog, just in case. Okay, Prophetic Prism. One more mana. It's not Fling. All right. Thoughtcast? Chromatic Sphere. All right. Well, they can kill us next turn, but not this one. Not this one. Oh, we moved to sideboarding. Yes. Yes. That's right. All right, I kind of want to play Liliana's Spectre here because I can get rid of the final card in their hand. I can get some value out of it. I don't think it's particularly good here over much of anything else, but it might be better than the Shinobi Gang. Might be a little bit better than the Shinobi Gang. A lot of times they are empty. They do empty their hand pretty fast. The one Liliana Spectre over the Shinobi Gang might be correct. The Guess Verdicts can stay. Oh, I will check out the one Disfigure, I'm thinking, and go up one of these Chainer's Edicts. I might actually remove a Defile for a Chainer's Edict. Yeah. They don't have that many small creatures compared to a lot of their big creatures. Yeah, we'll run it back like this. They don't have very much interaction. Oh, you know what? I could have sided out the... what are they called? Ooh, oh, 3-land hand? With these two guys again? And no flood protection. I could play Magic. It's not good. I want to mulligan. Yeah, I'll mulligan. I'll mulligan. Oh, a 1-land hand, you say? Going down to 5. How much better is that? God, any 1-land makes this hand much more keepable. I'll go ahead and keep it. I'll put 1 horror to the bottom. Done. Okay, and 1 Inspector. There's the clue. Chainers, okay, Changeling Outcast versus the World. Good. Seed of the Synod. Springleaf Drum. They got some mana. They got a good opener. Got a good opener. All right, yep. That's also pretty good. They got 1 more mana. Come on, they probably have at least one drop in their hand. Really, use it for what? All right, Chromatic Star, sure. It was just at the top of the list of mana to select. Okay, 2 Changeling Outcasts versus the World. All right. I should have went down to 5. Oh, look at Fancy Pants lands. Oh, not good enough for regular basics. Gotta have artifact lands, huh? Yeah, alright. Gotta have artifact lands. Oh, Prophetic Prism. Cool. Go ahead, poking for 1. Really? No? Oh, you're gonna use it, Springleaf Drum here? God, Defile. Alright. Well, let's attack. Galvanic Blast? Oh, Electricity. Alright. God, punished for not keeping the land heavy hand. Punished for keeping the land light hand. Yeah, you draw cards, find more land. We'll just be here, waiting. Disciple of the Vault. Crack the Clue. That's 1. Well, I can defile that. Disciple of the Vault. Alright. You get him for the 1, sure. Chainers looked better in the land heavy hand. Oh, now we get land. Alright, sure. Let's try a Slayer. Yeah, I'll try Slayer, and I think that'll be fine. Next turn, I'm probably going to Sign in Blood, just because I really need to probably start finding more cards. What you doing? Chromatic Star, sure. Atog. Okay. Planning to defile that Atog. Of One Mind. Yeah, I think Affinity got a little bit of an upgrade here. With Of One Mind. The strong get stronger. Oh my god. Alright, yeah. That they have 8 2-for-1s that are 1 mana in their deck. That is pretty good, thinking about it. Huh. And a bunch of cards that are redraws. Well, it's not eggs, but it's still pretty good. Wonder what the Ornithopter's for. Is it just for Springleaf Drum? I don't think that they have a lot of ways to pump it, do they? Or do they just have cards to burn? Ooh. They can kill me like this, can't they? Yeah, they can kill me like this. 10. Okay. Alright, I concede. I concede. You got me. You got me. I kept a greedy hand there. I think that they actually do have quite a few small creatures. That did not occur to me. Apparently, a Crypt Rats might be correct. Might be correct. I'll do the 2 Crypt Rats. I will probably check out... They have both artifact creatures and black creatures, so these things are actually very blockable. And very, very dead a lot of the time. So I will check those out. I'll bring in the Crypt Rat. Liliana's Spectre, still mostly unblockable. Maybe Echoing Decay. Maybe Echoing Decay over 1 Defile, perhaps? Yeah, that seems better. Sure, we'll do that. We would like to play first, as always. And this seems a little... this seems kind of nice. I can Gluttonous Slug. I'll keep this. If I can get a couple of their small creatures off the board with Crypt Rats, deal them a bit of damage, then Gluttonous Slug. I hope that this is the correct deck to be playing Crypt Rats in. It's not as though that we don't want to do anything on turns 1 through 4, but you know, sometimes you just want to Crypt Rats. Maybe we should be looking at Cower and Fear instead. You know, I think Crypt Rats... Double Crypt Rats, okay. I'll play Gluttonous Slug. Keep in mind, the Gluttonous Slug gets pumped when we play one of these Crypt Rats. So next turn, it'll be a 1/4. Which means we'll have to pay a ton of mana to try to kill it. If we, you know, I mean, we're not trying to kill it, but when we try to Wrath Away the World, it'll be much safer. Look who's established Metalcraft so early. Wow. That's almost hard to do in other decks. Hey, what's going on over there? Well, I mean, whatever. I guess they didn't get that many small creatures. Yeah, I'll play Crypt Rats now. Pump the guy. Start getting in. Thraben Inspector, sure. Not gonna kill that thing yet. I want to see Disciple of the Vault. Ooh, horror, you're here. Oh, this is a bad time. Damn it, Crypt Rats. This is a bad time. You know what? I'll get in. I can't block yet. Then I will Sign in Blood. I'm drawing the cards here, MTGO. I'm drawing the cards. These are my... Yes. My cards. All mine. I'm kind of willing to horror here. Oh, you have a Mirror Enforcer, you say? Of one mind. The horror will pump the slug, which is nice. Yeah, I think I'll horror, pumping the slug. I mean, it's not a complete one-sided thing. Sure, we'll evolve. We'll go to combat. Not totally unblockable anymore. But I can Geth's Verdict. I can Geth's Verdict if they try to double block. And that is some upside. I'll hold up these. I'll hold up 2 mana for either Geth's Verdict or Crypt Rats. Okay, of 1 mind. God, that okay. That is punishing me. Okay, I think I should just be. Alright, there's a Thraben Inspector. Well, now I feel more comfortable next turn blowing up the world. Sure. That's right, don't do it. What? I could do this. I'd prefer not to. I'd rather take the 5. I'll move to combat. Attack like this. Wrath my opponent's board of the small creatures, and then Geth's Verdict, the last big one. I could do it on their turn. I'll do it on their turn. It is instant speed. You ATOG, you say? You Mirror Enforcer, you say? Uh-huh. Okay. I kind of want to do this for 4 now. And then that'll leave them with just the ATOG. Which then I can Geth's Verdict. Alright, yep, sure. You sacrifice. That's fine. Alright, sure, go for it. Yeah, I'll play the Marauder, and then I will play Geth's Verdict on their turn. Marauder. Evolving my creature. Sure. I know you ain't got no blocks. Alright, you may take your turn. Oh my god, I'm presenting lethal in multiple ways. Sure. You may Thoughtcast. God, taking down Affinity. I can do that. Oh god, why is there I didn't know that I could do this. No. I'm just gonna set this aside for now. Sure. I don't have Fling. No, they got Fling. I know they do. Oh, God. I think they might have Fling. Or actually, maybe that was the Desperation Dig? Oh! Oh, it's done. GG. Ah, GG. And how do I, Oh. I fixed it! Springleaf Drum. Play out your Thraben Inspectors and then die. Disciple of the Vault. Alright. Alright. Thoughtcast, sure. All of those 2-for-1s will not save you. God, 4 other 2-for-1s again. Jesus. That is super brutal. Just doing yes. Oh, they couldn't take it. Oh, that's so good. Ah. Oh, what? They switched to a game with no watchers. That's weird. I don't get the whole no watchers thing. Oh, whatever. Anyway, that was fun. Oh, God. That was awesome. This is kind of really similar to the mono black burn deck. Because keep in mind, the mono black burn deck also plays a bunch of cheaper creatures that are unblockable. They play the Changing Outcast. They play the Guldraw's Vampire. Yeah, it's a Guldraw's Vampire. And the Stinger Fairy, I think it was. Or another... Oh, no, yeah, the Prickly Goblin. Prickly Goblin. They play the Prickly Goblin. The Fear Creature. They play a bunch of really hard-to-block evasive creatures that deal some damage. And we're essentially playing a bunch of evasive creatures that deal some damage. God, we beat out Affinity. The only reason why we lost game 2 is because of a really bad hand. That was more of a sign of my skills as a player than anything else. And this should be shrunk. Go to the side. That should be shrunk. Now that was awesome. Oh boy, if you guys have any suggestions for what you'd like to see me play next, let me know in the comments down below. But do not recommend Night Tribal. I have a list here on my computer, and the Night Tribal has been on it for a second. I'm waiting for it. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to come up with something for it, but Knights are so janky. It's it would be more of a theme deck than anything. It'd be more for just like saying, check it out, I got a Knight deck. It's still cool looking. Also, I do have eggs on the list. So if you wanted to see me play eggs again with Salvo, with Flaming Scrap Salvo? Yeah, that's it. I think that's the card. I have the note right there. I will be getting to that soon. I swear, I just wanted to catch up with some of my older decks. Don't forget to crack some clues and name some cards and meddle with some mages. Coming in for that face touch.